Hello students. So before continuing to the next part of current electricity, let me revise all the numericals formula that we have studied till now. So we have studied that the drift velocity is expressed as E tau divided by m. Okay, I already told you the difference between that 2m formula and m formula that is there in very standard books like SC Burma and all. But as NCERT has given this formula, so we are going to follow this one. So drift velocity is E for charge, E capital E is electric field, and tau is the time, relaxation time. And what is tau? Tau is the relaxation time. Let me write it down. It is the relaxation time. And what is the relaxation time? It is the average time for which, or the average time between two consecutive collisions of an electron, between two consecutive collisions. Average time taken by electron. Okay, so this is, and the second formula says that J is equal to NeVd, while J is the current density and N is the number of free electrons per unit volume. N is the number of free electrons per unit volume. And the current is equal to NeAVd, while A is the cross-sectional area of the conductor through which the current is flowing. Vd is the drift velocity. N is the number of free electrons per unit volume, and E is the charge of the electrons. Now let's come to the Ohm's law that we have studied in the last part of the video. Now Ohm's law for us is going to be J equal to sigma E, while sigma E is called as conductivity, and this is also written as 1 by rho E, while rho E is called as resistivity of the material of the conductor. As we already also studied that sigma, or the conductivity, is equal to Ne square tau by m, Ne square tau by m, and rho is equal to m by Ne square tau. Okay, can we see that this charge is constant and mass is constant for a charge, but this n and tau, these two factors depends on the, these two things depends on the materials. So we can write down as a note here as number of free electrons per unit volume, and tau, or the relaxation time, depends on the material. It depends on material. Hence, sigma and rho also depends on the material. Also depends on material. What are the other factors on which these two things are depending on? We will study in the next part of it. So let me keep it inside a box that how sigma and rho depends on the materials. So in the next part of it, let's study about that how rho depends, or the resistivity depends on the temperature. How the resistivity depends on the temperature. Let us understand the mechanism behind it and what is the reason behind it. We are going to study about that how rho depends on the, just a, I'm writing half part of it here. That is some technical fault is there. Okay. So the next part says that how rho depends on temperature. How rho depends on temperature. Let's understand it. Rho is resistivity, and it is a material property, Let's take an example. This is a conductor, and we are applying the potential difference of V1 and V2 across the two ends of the conductor, and let it be V1 is greater than V2. So if any free electron is there, so because of the constitution of the external electric field from the higher to lower potential, so this electron will experience an electric force, and this one will start to move, and it is going to take this type of path, right? Late at this particular time, the temperature is T1. Why the electron is moving like this? This happens due to the thermal agitation as well as due to the external electric field, right? If I say that I'm going to keep the potential difference constant, between that is V1 and V2, and still V1 is greater than V2, but I'm going to put a temperature that is T2 which is less than T1. This temperature T2 is less than T1. So what will happen to the electron? Here, there are few of the phenomena are going to take place. Here, the kinetic energy of the electron will decrease. Why? Because of less thermal agitation, because the temperature has decreased, so the thermal agitation will decrease. As a result, the number of collision will decrease, and the randomness will also decrease. And the flow will be smooth. Flow of the electron will be smooth, because number of collision has decreased now. So next one is opposing force will also decrease. Opposing force, that is KB, that we have already studied. Opposing force will also decrease. So these are the things are going to take place. So what will happen at this condition? So the path of the electron becomes a little bit smoother as compared to the previous one. So in the next condition, if I'm going to take another temperature T3, which is more smaller than T2, potential difference is constant, and T3 is given as it is less than T2. In that case, as we know that this electron the path of the electron becomes very smooth, okay? Because what we studied over here, we studied that the mobility of the electron increases with the decrease in temperature. So what we studied that mobility is mu, right? Mobility of electrons increases with decrease in temperature, because hindrance is lowered in this case. So at a particular temperature, which is very, very low temperature, we can say that at a very low temperature, that's why we can write at a very low temperature, which is almost is equal to 0 Kelvin. I will teach you all these things. We have already studied about the absolute temperature also. 0 Kelvin, conductors achieve superconductivity. Because the path becomes very smooth for the electrons. Conductors achieve superconductivity. And at this particular case, so the mobility increases with the decrease in the temperature, right? So at a very low temperature, the conductors achieve superconductivity, and at that particular time, the resistivity becomes almost is equal to 0, right? So what we learnt over here, as the temperature is decreasing, the resistivity also decreases. Let's write it down. As the temperature decreases, the resistivity also decreases, because resistivity is equal to 1 by any mu that we have already studied. And what is mu? Mu is mobility. So can you see that this mobility is there in the denominator? So if this value increases, so the resistivity will start to decrease. So let us put it in a box. So this is the dependence of rho or the resistivity with the temperature. This is the dependency of rho or resistivity with the temperature. So similarly, we can say that if we increase the temperature, so this factor also increases. So in the next part, let us study about that, how mathematically it is related. That that how the resistivity depends on the temperature. How the resistivity depends on the temperature. Let's write it down. Fine. So let's write down that how the resistivity depends on the temperature. So we can write rho T is equal to rho T naught, which is going to be a really important and useful relationship, 1 plus alpha del T. 1 plus alpha del T. What is the meaning of it? Mathematically, we relate the dependency of resistivity on temperature in this manner. So what is del T? Del T is the change in the temperature, that is T minus T naught. What is T naught? Alpha, and here we can see an alpha. Alpha is called as temperature coefficient. It is called as temperature coefficient of the resistance, right? Temperature coefficient. And coming to the other factors, what is rho T naught? It is resistivity at 0 degree centigrade. Remember that T naught here is always 0 degree centigrade, which is the reference temperature, right? And already we know that while we were studying about the Ohm's law, as we know, resistance is directly proportional to rho. Resistance is directly proportional to rho. We have studied this relationship R equal to rho L by A. So as resistance is directly proportional to rho, so the dependency of resistance on temperature is exactly the same way as the resistivity depends on temperature. So we can write down RT can also be written as RT naught into 1 plus alpha del T. 1 plus alpha del T. Same thing we can write it for this one also. What is RT? This can also be written as if delta T. I can also write down this delta T is equal to T minus T naught, and T naught is 0 degree centigrade. So can't we write it as T? We can also write it as T. So this formula will become more simpler. So it is RT naught or R naught. You can write anything, that is going to be 1 plus alpha T. 1 plus alpha T. And this one is a linear relationship. This is a linear relationship. This is a linear relationship. We have already studied about the temperature coefficient in the previous classes. Here the value of alpha or the range of alpha also depends, it decides that what type of material it is and how the temperature dependency of the material depends on the range of alpha. Let's understand it. If I say that alpha, how does it depend on? Let's understand. Well, I have some problem with this. Fine. We will just use the right hand side of the page now. Later, I will clarify it in the, clear it in the next class. Well, alpha is equal to, if alpha is positive, these are the properties. These are very important, that if alpha is positive, negative or zero depends on the, it decides that what type of material is this. If alpha is positive, that usually happens in metals and conductors. Usually it happens in metals and conductors. Mostly the metals are conductors. So in that case, what are the impact of it? If we rise the temperature, then the resistance also increases. For alpha is positive, if you increase the temperature, then the resistance increases. Similarly, if alpha is negative, if you say there is an alpha or the temperature coefficient is negative, so which is usually takes place in semiconductors. So in this case, if we increase the temperature, then the resistance decreases. Similarly, if alpha is equal to 0, usually it takes place in case of alloys. So even if we increase the temperature, in this case, if the temperature increases, then resistance remains unaffected. It remains unaffected, right? So these are the ranges of alpha that we have to keep it in mind, that this range of alpha also decides that what are the materials, what type of material that we are using. Question is directly asked on this basis also sometimes, that what does it refer to? What does it refer to? I'll be keeping this question in my test as well. Clear. Okay, let's do a question. Let's do a very basic question now. Then after that, we will do some few numericals on this. It says that this is a VI curve. Now I'm going to take you the characteristics of the voltage and the current curve in case of your Ohm's law. So let's do this. This is a VI curve. So what we studied about the Ohm's law, that V equal to IR for linear conductors. Linear conductors, I mean those conductors which follow Ohm's law are called as linear conductors or ohmic conductors, right? Because if you'll plot a graph, it is going to give you a straight line. So I'm going to plot a graph between V and I. Let me plot a graph between V and I. So I have to bring it down actually. Oh, it is sticked here. Fine, no issues. So let's keep it here. This one is a V, and I'm going to keep. Sometimes in the exam, IV curve is also given. IV curve is also given. Exactly the opposite characteristics it will exhibit than the VI curve. There are two lines. I'm going to give two lines. Let's take two lines. Let's use different pen and take two lines here. One is here and another line, let's do it. Okay, fine. So one is for material A and the other one is for material B, right? It is given that if we plot a graph, then the upper curve is at temperature T1. If you measure the temperature of it, so this is at the temperature of T1 and this is at the temperature of T2. So this axis is V axis, I mean our voltage is taken in this, and here it is taken as current. Here it is taken as current. Will not go to the left of it. It is restricted now to go. Fine. So it is given that this is making an angle of theta1. That means tan theta 1 or the slope of this line is tan theta 1, and this one is making an angle of theta 2, right? We are studying about the characteristics of it. What is tan theta? Tan theta of this graph is the slope of it. Slope is y by x. So that is V by I. V by I. And what is V by I? That is resistance. So it's not the slope is constant. That's why it is a straight line. So that's why it is a straight line. So from this graph, we can confirm that the resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. As we know that the resistance is directly proportional to the temperature, and whose slope is more? We can clearly say that tan theta 1 is greater than tan theta 2, right? So if I'm going to write it as 1 and the second one is 2, so clearly we can say that the resistance of the first one is more than the resistance of the second one. Resistance of the first one is greater than the resistance of the second one, right? And temperature, as temperature is also directly proportional to the resistance, so we can write down T1 is greater than T2. T1 is greater than T2, right? Similarly, if I say that this graph is an IV curve, so everything will be reversed in that case. If I say that the graph is an IV curve, I will put a question in the test on this. then in that case T1 will be less than T2, then R2 is going to be more than R1, and so on. I'll also teach you non-ohmic graphs, but not now, later. Then let's do a question. Same on the BI curve, but it's a little bit tricky question. Question says that we are going to draw two curves now. Curve 1 same type of curve only, that's what we have done in the last part of it. Okay, so this is a BI curve, and let me draw two other colors of lines as well. This is T1 and this is T2, and I'm going to draw one more line here, that is T2. Right, well, other things that we are going to write here. Okay, so this question says you that this angle is theta. This one is your V, and this is I, and this temperature is T2 and this is T1, and this angle is given as theta, and this angle is also given as theta, right? Question is that T2 minus T1 is proportional to how much? T2 minus T1 is proportional to how? Options are given as cos 2 theta. Second part is given as sin theta. Third part is given as cot 2 theta. And fourth option is given as tan theta. Okay, let's do it. How to find it out? See, if I'm going to draw this graph once again, roughly I'm just plotting it. So this is your I, this is V, voltage and current curve. These are the two slopes that has been given to you. This is T1 and this is T2. Okay, so this angle is theta. So can't we write down this is going to be 90 minus theta? This is going to be 90 minus theta because 2 theta plus x. If I'm going to take this part as x, so can't we write down 2 theta plus x is equal to 90? Right, 2 theta plus x is equal to 90. So x is equal to 90 minus 2 theta. X is equal to 90 minus 2 theta. So this is going to be 90 minus theta. This is going to be 90 minus theta, right? Because x plus theta, we are finding out x plus theta. So x plus theta is 90 minus 2 theta plus theta. So this is 90 minus theta. So this one is 90 minus theta. Fine. So you know that T2 is greater than T1. As we know, T2 is greater than T1. I'm going to use another pen because everything will be mingled up else. So T2 is greater than T1 because the slope clearly says that V by I curve, BI curve. So this is resistance. So resistance is directly proportional to temperature. So T2 is greater than T1. And we can also write down R2 is also greater than R1. R2 is also greater than R1. Now, can't we write down R2 is equal to tan of 90 minus theta, that is equal to cot theta, and cot theta is directly proportional to T2. Similarly, if I'll write it for R1, then R1 is tan theta and it is directly proportional to T1. We have to find out T2 minus T1. So in the next part, let me continue the calculation on continuation with T2 minus T1 is directly proportional to cot theta minus tan theta, right? Cot theta minus tan theta. Now this is cos theta by sin theta minus sin theta by cos theta, which is eventually going to give you cos square theta minus sin square theta divided by sin theta into cos theta. Okay, now for computational ease, I am doing one thing. I'm going to multiply 2 in the numerator and the 2 in the denominator. So in the next part, on the next continuation of this part, this is going to be directly proportional to 2 cos 2 theta. 2 cos 2 theta. See, Cos square theta minus sin square theta has an identity of cos 2 theta, right? If you don't know, you just remember this one. This is cos 2 theta. 2 times of cos 2 theta divided by sin 2 theta. Because 2 into sin theta into cos theta is sin 2 theta. So now this whole thing will become 2 cot 2 theta. So this is the answer to the question. So option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Now, let's do a numerical. And I will show you a very super easy trick to solve this numerical. See, the resistance of a, it's given that the resistance of a resistor at 20 degrees centigrade is given as 20 ohm. What I told you, reference temperature is always 0 degrees centigrade. At 500 degrees centigrade, it is given as, the value is given as 60 ohm. Find the temperature at which, question is, find the temperature at which the resistance will become 25 ohm. Okay. So what you are going to do? Now you will do this way. I'll tell you how you usually going to approach the question. You will be writing that first you will write down the equation, right? I'm using one more pen to write it down. You'll first start writing the equation, the general method you will follow. This is your general method. So you'll follow like this. R is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha t. So you are going to write here like 20 is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha 20, right? Then again we will write down equation 60 is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha 500. Then again you'll write 25 is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha t. And so many things are there. So, but I don't recommend you to use this method. I'll tell you how to do it. You know that this dependence of the resistance on the temperature is always linear. So if I'm going to draw a graph between the resistance and the temperature, if we will draw a graph between the resistance and the temperature, so this one is temperature, this is the resistance. So it should always be a straight line whose slope is constant. So this theta is always constant. And what is the value of it? This tan theta is the slope, which is del r by del t. See, this is always constant. This is always constant. So let us make a table over here and let's see that how to solve the question. I'm going to take a table over here. In the first half, I'm going to write T, and in the second one, I'm going to write R. So here, it is 0 degree centigrade, and here it is R naught, 20 degree, and 20 ohm, T degree centigrade, 25 ohm, because linearly increasing, na? Why I'm writing here it is T naught? Because this value is not known to us. At 20 degree, it is given as 20 ohm. 25 will come somewhere between them, right? And in the next temperature is 500 degrees centigrade. At 500 degrees centigrade, it is given as 60 ohm. So definitely T degree centigrade, at T degree centigrade, if the resistance is 25 ohm, it should lie between 20 and 60. It should lie between 20 and 60. So now we are going to do that tan theta del R by del T is constant. So how to do it? How to do it now? So first we'll find out the difference between 25 minus 20. So let me write it down. 25 minus 20. So here it is del R. So first I'm going to do between these two. So I'm going to write 25 minus 20 divided by T minus 20 divided by T minus 20 is equal to, again if I'm going to take these two, then it is going to give us another unknown. So better to do between the knowns, So here it is going, because slope is remaining constant, right? So it is going to become 60 minus 20 divided by 500 minus 20. 500 minus 20. See how it is going to be a single liner problem now. It is going to be 5 by T minus 20 is equal to 40 by 480. 40 by 480. 40 by 480 is 1 by 12. 1 by 12. So we can write 60 is equal to T minus 20. So T is equal to 60 plus 20 equal to 80 degrees centigrade. T is equal to 80 degrees centigrade. So this is the answer to our question. So in the next class, we will discuss that how the resistance depends on all the other factors like length and area and how to do those numericals. Thank you.